for the bride and groom. On January 31st, 2008, at 1 o'clock in the morning, I received an email from Stephanie, who was traveling in Asia with Matt at the time. The subject line, I want to read it with you all. The subject line was, according to Matt. And it started with a list. Number 1, Mama's meatballs. Number 2, Papa's paninis. Number 3, Mikey's parfaits. Number 4, my tush. Number 5, Nikki's eggs. Number 6, Anna's football skills and her unconditional willingness to get Matt a glass of water. Then I said, ... the top 6 reasons Matt asked me to marry him. And that's all we heard for 3 weeks. I read this to you all today because I thought you'd like to hear how this all started for the sisters, and because I want you all to know that we are not just passive participants in this relationship, and that we like to take some credit for it. We are a very tight family of 6, so Stephanie is just a year and a half older than me, for those of you that don't know. And so growing up, she was a tough one to follow, a tough act to follow. She was a perfect student. She was a stellar athlete, and she was probably the most popular girl in school. I think Natalie and Megan can attest to a lot of that. And I was a little bit different. But mostly I read a lot of books. I was a little bit, I think dorky is the word. So Stephanie, when I was making the big switch from elementary school to middle school, Stephanie was a year and a half ahead of me. She had been there for a year. I didn't think this change was a big deal. I underestimated what a big deal it was until one day I was wearing stretch pants, like I often did as a 5th grader, leggings, some people call them. And Stephanie came up to me and she said, if you wear, she gave me this warning, if you wear stretch pants to middle school, you're definitely going to get beat up. I went home crying, of course, terrified to go to middle school, terrified at the idea of middle school, and my parents eventually got the story out of me. And when Stephanie came home, my father said to her, he said, Stephanie, if Nikki comes home beat up, you better come home beat up too, or don't come home at all. And I didn't get beat up, although I still don't know if Stephanie put out the word to keep me safe from the bullies. But I think either way, the lesson stuck, and Stephanie has been an incredible friend to me ever since. Through thick and through thin. I have to try not to cry here. For giving me anything, always seeing the best in me, being a constant source of support and friendship and honesty, lies, and also a source of laughter and of fun, and just someone very unique to me and to my life and to all of the sisters. This summer I got to spend a lot of time with Matt and Steph because I lived with them in D.C. Between that, helping to help plan the wedding a little bit, the World Cup, I was referring to Matt, my sister's fiance, a lot. And people would ask me more than a few times, they would ask me, do you like your sister's, do you like him? Do you like your sister's fiance? And I think that my response to that question, more than anything, made me realize that in a lot of ways, Matt is already a brother to me, and to all of us. Because they would say, do you like him? Is he an alright guy? And I would just stare at them, confused by the question, with a blank look on my face. What do you mean? Do I like him? I don't know what you mean by that. And instead of thinking a clear yes or a clear no, I would just look at them because I think that my feelings for Matt are so beyond like or dislike, for better or for worse. And I think that's what family is. I think family is having like and dislike not being a part of the language. So, and then in the end, I would say, oh yeah, I like him. 8 years. It's been 8 years. He's already part of the family. This is just for fun. But it wasn't always like this, as some of you might remember, and as my father has already stolen my anecdotes about. I counted last night. Matt has been here for 9 years. This is Matt's 9th summer up here. First year. And despite showing up with a bleached orange mohawk for the first year, he had it pretty easy. Stephanie had a few boyfriends before Matt. But none of them that she actually really liked. I hope none of them are here today. She'd bring them up to the lake, but she'd spend more time avoiding them than hanging out with them. And she would be on the hook to spend time with them. I think a lot of the cousins might remember that. So the fact that she actually liked Matt was a point in his favor. And then, of course, the accent, as my father also mentioned, kept us entertained, and we found it irresistible and entertaining forever. When that got old, we found his soccer skills and tricks impressive for a while. And those were the glory days for Matt Taco, like we often call it here. The glory days lasted a while. My mother would be up late when he'd visit, making dozens of extra meatballs, so we'd always have a meatball sub on hand, and chicken cutlets. There'd be salt and vinegar chips every time she went to the grocery store. We laughed at everything he said. I'd get upset whenever he teased me for about 6 years. I finally learned, now I don't care. Slowly, those glory days faded. And Matt Taco, just kidding, Matt Silkington, went from being a novelty to our family to being a fixture, which is, I think, where he belongs. And we're very happy about that. And as Matt got to know each of us, I think it didn't take him long to see an ally in me. I remember him observing one summer that me and him were the two that Steph was the roughest on. And that I agree that the two of us do take the brunt of her high expectations and her type A personality. But we also are the two that she takes care of more than anyone else. And for that, I have always found myself very lucky. And I hope that Matt understands that he's lucky to be taken care of by her too. All right. So I've always felt so grateful that you two have one another. This summer, when I got to live with you, I felt more sure than ever that you're very lucky. Because you're very different people. You are very different people. I think we all can recognize that. But that will keep things interesting over the years. And I think you do an amazing job of accepting each other's differences and turning them into positive things. And if there's any secret to a long-lasting and happy relationship, then I think that must be it. Yeah. If I speak on everyone's behalf when I say that we are, I'm not going to go 25 minutes like Lee. I believe, although wait, there's an addendum to my speech, so don't get too excited. I believe I speak on everyone's behalf when I say that we are honored to be here with you two today, celebrating with you. Yay! Yay! So let's raise our glasses. To Steph and Matt, that you may always accept each other's differences, and also thank you for not eloping. Cheers. Cheers. And as my addendum to my toast, we have a toast via song from my younger two sisters, because they need to be involved, and I can't make the speech by myself. Thanks, that would help. To the tune, Let It Be. You stand with us.
Let it be.
Oh, okay. I'll stand. Okay. Wait. It started one day at GW, year 2001 or 2002. Right from the start, they hit it off, Steph and Matt. The gymnast and the soccer star. Oh, we loved how she flipped on those uneven bars. She scored a goal to win her heart, Steph and Matt. Steph and Matt, here's to you. Stuff like this comes far and few. Mr. and Mrs. Pilkington, Steph and Matt. Here won the 4th of July. Matt came to the lake and gave bocce a try. He passed the taco test, Steph and Matt. He walked through the door, mohawk in his hair. He had an accent, so we didn't care. Fresh meat for the taco girls, Steph and Matt. Steph and Matt, here's to you. Love like this comes far and few. Mr. and Mrs. Pilkington, Steph and Matt. Matt makes a mean curry and Steph's the pizza queen. Yes, they both cook and yes, they both clean. And you know what they say about love is like a cookie. Spain, Australia, Cambodia, Laos. First a travel buddy, now a travel spouse. Who knows where they'll go next? Steph and Matt. Steph and Matt, here's to you. Love like this comes far and few. Mr. and Mrs. Pilkington, Steph and Matt. Coach Matt on the pitch, Miss Taco at school. Soccer moms idolize them cause they are so cool. They can't wait for their athletic babies. Steph and Matt.